Yes, this is me, Hudson George, doing a live. My topic is Caricom countries are located in America backyard. America got a new president, President Donald Trump. New policy to make America great again. The Caribbean region will be affected. In the Caribbean, they have something called Caricom. They are Caricom, Carifta, and all them things. This is organization, they say, bring Caribbean people together. Now, politics change in big countries, not small countries. Small countries could only roll with big country when changes occur. So Donald Trump policy to the Caribbean make CARICOM countries look like eggs in Rockstone dance. The Rockstone is hard and eggs is soft. So CARICOM countries are soft. Whether who call themselves big island or small island, they soft. Alright? So they meeting with American Secretary of State. They meeting with Marco Rubio. Right? So CARICOM countries who are liberal in politically or right wing or center left, they all now in a situation like eggs in a Rockstone dance. Now the American come to the Caribbean to discuss what it is. I listened to the Marco Rubio in Jamaica talking about trade. That trade talk remind me of when they had this Caribbean Basin Initiative that never really get off the ground. During the period of when Grenada was moving to the left, most of the CARICOM countries were to the right, or some remain neutral. So you had Grenada to the left, close to Cuba. Then you had Manly in Jamaica speaking socialism, democratic socialism. Maurice Bishop in Grenada trying to be the next Fidel Castro, right? So the Grenada Revolution will be the second communist country in the Caribbean if he had succeeded. It'll be Cuba little brother or little sister, whatever. So what is really going on now? What is going on presently with the Donald Trump administration? They're back in the Caribbean again. But it's sounding like if it's Cuba they're after, but it's not Cuba. They're after China because China is doing business in the Caribbean. Cuba cannot change the Caribbean with its communist ideology. It doesn't have the technology and the money to back up its stock. So the Americans feel threatened with the Chinese in the Caribbean. The Russians are not there. The Chinese building road, building houses, building infrastructure, doing business, which the Caribbean need. Some of the most right-wing countries in the Caribbean are doing business with China. Those to the middle left or center left or to the left, they're all doing business with China. They want business. Right? So, Mr. Rubio in the Caribbean. The question is, which Caricom country will be the sellout? Remember, we went through, there was a time they said West Indies Federation and it flopped. It didn't work out. So who will jump ship first this time? Most of these Caricom countries are independent countries and republic. They have the people to feed. So it's not expected they go sing with one voice. Somebody is going to sell out. Or maybe the American must have talked to some of the political leaders and opposition leaders in the Caribbean before they come to before Rubio come to the region to hold this meeting with Caricom leaders. Now, in terms of Cuba, one have to say that U.S. policy to Cuba is not correct. They punishing Cuba, but then there is a flip side to it too. Because in communist country, if you don't go with the flow of the state, you will be an outcast. So let us face the facts. From the time the Cuban Revolution to present, there are people in jail in Cuba. Some, if you go against the state, they will lock you up. Right? So there are what you call dissidents in Cuba, political dissidents, which are things we have to talk about too. So to the right and to the left, things are not too right. Donald Trump to the right and the Cuban government to the left. There's no middle ground. In the case of Caricom countries, they opportunistically need Cuba. They might not like the Cuban policy, but they need health care. The Caribbean produce a lot of health workers, but they don't have this patriotic, nationalistic interest to work in the country. They want American dollar. They want Euro dollar. They want British pound. They want Cayman Island money, dollar. They want Canadian dollar. So they will go and work where they're going to get a bigger pay. Let us face the facts. So the situation in the Caribbean right now is very fluid with the Donald Trump policies towards the Caribbean. The question is, who will bow to the American first? Smaller, you don't have a big country and small country in the Caribbean in that one. Is who will bow first. Guyana in size is bigger than all Caricom countries put together. Guyana and Suriname, they're bigger than all Caricom countries put together. Right? So, where we go from here? Where do we go from here? Will the Caribbean integration disintegrate? Will Caricom survive with Donald Trump policies? The next question is Haiti. The Caribbean leaders mightn't be happy with Donald Trump. But then again, politics is interest and security. They didn't really care too much about Haiti. Even in my own country, Grenada, 19 Haitians landed in Grenada on one-way ticket. And we had a new government in Grenada, which is the present government that was newly elected. They didn't help the 19 Haitians. They sent them back. They sent them back to where they came from. They said they had a one-way ticket. Talking about Grenada. Haiti is a Caricom country. And it was sad to see how they treat the Haitian, knowing that Grenada and Haiti share a common history as the two black revolutionary countries. The third ruler of Haiti was a Grenadian, Henry Christophe, revolutionary fighter. So Grenada and Haiti have a close bond. So when I saw historically, in terms of black struggle, when I see our present government didn't give the 19 Haitian a safe haven to stay, I felt bad as a black man. So then we have now, we talk about Caribbean togetherness. The Caribbean togetherness among Caricom country started from the Leeward Island down to Guyana and Suriname. Anything over the Leeward Island, not in the fold of Caricom integration. Let us face the facts. The Leeward Island, Windward Island, Trinidad, Tobago, Guyana and Suriname, they more fold together, even though Suriname speak Dutch. When you go higher, those other English-speaking countries in Caricom don't have that culture of closeness. Let us face the facts. You got to accept it. So, the question is, who will bow first? Who will bow to Donald Trump first? Because the American has its interest in its backyard. From the Panama Canal to Florida, which is the most southern state on mainland United States, to the tip of Venezuela is the Caribbean. Who will bow first? In the case of Grenada, the American will be watching us based on our history and how some of us talk politically. Don't be foolish. They're watching us. Now, in the case of Guyana, the ruling party in Guyana, the political organization is based on a socialist format. Right? They have a central committee from the Cherry Jagan time era up to today. In the case of the PNC, which was Bonham Party, Forbes Bonham Party, kind of socialist but Pan-Africanist. Whereas the PPP is East Indian based, but it's socialism too. Both parties based on socialism. When the Maurice Bishop government was in power, they had rather the Jagan Party. I don't know for what reason, which I'm still questioning. When Bonham was the real Pan-Africanist that helped in the liberation of South Africa. So, we in the Caribbean, we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow with the Donald Trump policies to the region. Who will sell out first? Caribbean or Caricom countries become like eggs in Rockstone dance. In the case of Trinidad and Tobago, they always take a middle role. They take a more middle role. Now we have a new prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago. in the predominantly Blaise PNM party, which is more African-based party, and the UNC, which is East Indian-based, but based on the culture of Trinidad and Tobago historically, the French Creole, the Portuguese, the Syrians, the Lebanese, and even some of the East Indian Muslims and the other mixed race people, they're more politically cultured to the Black Party, which is the ruling party, the PNM. Now the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is a man of mixed race. He looked like he mixed with the Chinese, and I don't know if it's French Creole or Portuguese, but he is mixed. And knowing that the mixed race people and the other small ethnic groups more prefer to vote for the African PNM party, I believe Stuart Young will be re-elected again as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, because he will get the black votes and he is going to get the other ethnic vote. He's going to get the Chinese vote, the Lebanese vote, the Syrian vote, the French Creole vote, the Coco Payol vote. He's going to get that. He's going to win the election. Right? Now when we move to St. Vincent, we have Ralph Gonsalves, who's supposed to be a Marxist-Leninist. He was an advisor to Maurice Bishop. Now his politics is based on survival. Ralph Gonsalves is a grassroots man. Give him that. He is one of the most grassroots Caribbean politicians. He speaks local Vinci English. He is an intellectual. Ralph Gonsalves now is more a spiritual Baptist, which is an African religion, than a Marxist-Leninist. Because right now he knows that his political survival is based on human resources, the black population. Ralph Gonsalves is of Portuguese descent, but give him what he is. It's due to him. He is one of the most grounded politician into his people's culture. Maurice Bishop didn't reach that. Maurice Bishop tax socialism and all them things. He was a mixed race man, but he had his petty bourgeois thing in him. Let us say, and maybe he had a little race thing too, I don't know. As Grenadian, he was not down to earth as Ralph Gonsalves. So Ralph Gonsalves will stay strong, but he himself is in Cowbelly Crossway. He next in Rockstone dance too, because he is a friend of Maduro, Nicolas Maduro. And maybe he might want to rock the boat with Guyana too. You understand? And then when you look at the politics again, the Guyanese government have a love for Grenada. Because when life was hard with Guyana, a lot of Guyanese moved to Grenada. They had a working ministry, they work, they stay in Grenada, they have residence, the children born. So when Guyana struck gold, oil and gas, the first Caribbean country the Guyanese made friend with is Grenada, and plane flying from Grenada to Guyana 2 times a week. Right? So there is a brotherly love there. What I'm saying is that from the OECS country right down to Guyana and Suriname, and in good time Venezuela, this area is close. Any country past the OECS north is not too close. But if Caricom countries give the Haitians access to the OECS country down to Trinidad and Guyana, they will assimilate, because I I had a lot of Haitian friends, and I find they're very nice people. So if give them a chance, they will melt into the unity. They don't have this extra big chip on the shoulder. But mind you, they are the revolutionaries of the Caribbean. But they don't work with chip on the shoulder. So anyway, what will Marco Rubio offer Caribbean leaders for loyalty? Oh, to be submissive to the new American government. What will he offer? He's in Jamaica. I remember Ronald Reagan had CBI, and the meeting was held in Jamaica too. Talk about Freeport and Caribbean Basin Initiative. That flopped. And a lot of people don't know that Haiti had the most textile industry in all the Caribbean countries. But yet still Haiti is poor. Because workers have no union, no nothing. So where we go from here? In terms of Grenada, our government was kind of trying to push a kind of left-wing sympathetic thing to make Maurice Bishop left-wing dictatorial regime look good. Will they backpedal? We gotta wait and see, man. Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. I go on till I come again. Go on.